Max Lucado here. I hope you're doing well. I was on an airplane not too long ago working on a sermon about heaven. I looked around and I saw all the other passengers and I thought, these people look wonderfully content. Thanks to pillows, crossword puzzles, and smartphones, they pass the time quite nicely. But suppose this announcement were to be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, this flight is your final destination. We will never land. Your home is this airplane, so enjoy the journey. Well, a mutiny would erupt. Passengers would become pirates. We would overtake the cockpit. We would land that plane, wouldn't we? I mean, we wouldn't settle for such an idea. The journey is not the destination. The vessel is not the goal. And those who are content with nothing more than joy in the journey are settling for too little satisfaction. Our hearts tell us, don't our hearts tell us that there's more to this life than this life? I mean, we may not know exactly what's next, but we have a sense that something is coming. We know better than to call this airplane home. We are future-facing creatures. The Apostle Paul wrote words that could be echoed by us all. I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I press on, he said, to the end of the race, to receive the heavenly prize for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us. That's in Philippians 3, verses 13 and 14. Look at those phrases. He talks about the end of the race, the heavenly prize. The Apostle Paul had a sense that this life is headed somewhere, that this journey is more than this journey. He would not put up with fatalistic frets of hope. He would cause us to, or call upon us to lift up our eyes and remind us that the best of life is yet to be. And this race has a finish line. This life has rewards, and wise is the person who lives with an eye toward the landing strip. Paul called this future-facing posture seeking and setting. If you then who were raised with Christ, you must seek those things which are above, he wrote, where Christ is, sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things of the earth. For you died, your life is now hidden with Christ in God. That's in Colossians 3, verses 1 through 3. You see, the Apostle Paul's logic is clear. We have been raised with Christ. Spiritually speaking, we are where Christ is. We are citizens of heaven, Philippians 1:27. He has enthroned us with him in the heavenly realms, Ephesians 2:6. We are human homing pigeons. Do you know about homing pigeons? I know other birds are stronger. Other birds boast larger plumes. Others fly faster. They have stronger claws. But none has the skill of finding home like the homing pigeon. They've been used in wars. They've been entrusted with secrets. They've been known to journey over 1,000 miles to find their destination. They know how to find their way home. Now, no one knows exactly what they know. Some scientists think they have magnetite in their beaks and brains that interplay with the magnetic field of the earth. Others credit the birds' sense of hearing. Maybe they hear a frequency which other animals miss. Or maybe they're the bloodhounds of the sky, sniffing out their target with a keen sense of smell. I don't know. What we do know is this: pigeons have this innate home detector. So do you. So do you. What God gave pigeons, he gave to you. I'm not referring to bird brains. Just kidding. He implanted within you this longing, this guidance system. You were born heaven equipped with a heaven hunger. an internal tracking device set on some place we have yet to see. Can I urge you to heed it? Heed it. Paul says, seek those things which are above. Then he says, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. Paul uses really starchy verbs here. In Greek, zeteo is to covet earnestly, to strive after, to inquire, to desire. Set emerges from the verb phroneo, which means to savor or think about, causing one translation to read, set your affection on things above. I once obeyed this passage in an earthly fashion. Months before we moved to San Antonio from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, back in 1988, I knew what our house would look like. You see, some friends sent us a picture of a house for sale, and we fell in love with it. With one look, we were sold. It was a brick abode on a quiet cul-de-sac with a dark brown door. It was perfect. I posted the photo in our Brazilian kitchen. I gave it multiple gazes a day. I studied its exterior. Deanlin and I pondered its interior. I showed the photo to the girls, examined it with our friends. By the time we moved to San Antonio, I really think I could have picked out the house from a dozen others. I was acquainted with my home before I reached my home. Christ wants us to do the same. He has changed our permanent residence. He said, think only about, one translation says, or keep your mind on, another translation says, or let heaven fill your thoughts, another translation says. Pursue the things over which Christ presides is another translation. These translations combine just to say this: obsess yourself with what's next. Obsess yourself with heaven. Heaven is the green vegetable on the spiritual diet. The soul needs gazes, long gazes into the life to come. You need to know what your next life is going to be like. You need to know what your departed ones are doing. You need to think about what your eternal body will be like. You need to imagine the new Jerusalem, the face of God. You need to imagine, to be consumed with that moment in which you see Christ. My friend, life can be tough. It can. But God... ultimate solution for the struggles of this life is His promise of a glorious life yet to come. Do yourself a favor. Think long and hard about what awaits you, because there's a lot more to life than this life. Think about that. All the best.